We'll record it and we'll come back. Okay. And now let's formally introduce ourselves before we start off on there. I'm Colonel Mukteswar Prasad. I was psychologist at 24 SSB way back at Bangalore, and I've remained in the system in the SSB for some time. Then again, outside, I did my graduation and everything from Indian Army only, and then retired in 2006. Then after that, we came back to this field of SSB training since 2013 onward. Here is my friend, Colonel Kadam. He had been the vice or the deputy at, again, at Bangalore SSB, one of the veteran in the field, interviewing officer, has interviewed many people around there, including many stories which he has been party to it. Very professional, old friend, and it is his credit to go to his credit that he accepted to take the interview in such a short time in spite of his busy schedule. So initially, just want to thank him for making himself available, and we will benefit from what he has got to say about. Okay. Before we start, normally we do talk about the candidate. We will remain on mute except for Colonel Kadam and candidate, that's Sivanjay Yadav. Just to introduce is Sivanjay is the son of a retired army officer, Colonel Yadav, who retired from Corps of EME. He's got his mother, who's running a boutique, and he's got two sisters, and one is BBA, MBA, and another second sister is already advocate. He himself has done his 10th as approximately 63%, and then 12th again about 65%, and he has gone back to do law from Army Institute of Law, and he is a practicing lawyer at present. He has not participated in NCCA and other activities. He seems to be a keen sports person who has played basketball, volleyball, and other related games. Next, he also seems to have a captain, the school captains, or is a sports captain at schools and colleges that he has remained there. He has been part of the SSB. He has appeared in SSB at least 4 times, and this is probably his 5th attempt. What he would like to know, what are his credentials, how good is he, and what is not so good about it. That in any case we will discuss as we proceed. Okay. We'll mute ourselves and we leave Sivanjay and Colonel Kadam on for whatever they have to talk about. Okay. Right then. And to you Colonel Kadam, thanks a lot again. And we'll
right, sir.
Thank you.
Right, sir. Good afternoon, Sivanjit. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm good, sir.
Yeah, good. What
Yes,
are you doing these days?
Sir, currently I'm working in a law firm, and today is my first day as work from home. I started in Delhi.
Okay. So you're working in a law firm.
Yes, sir.
You don't like it.
I enjoy working here, sir.
Then why do you want to leave it and join the Indian Army?
Sir, because my primary aim in life since a very long time has been to join the army.
Then why didn't you join NDA?
Sir, I wrote the NDA thrice, but I could not clear the written part.
Why?
Sir, my conceptual knowledge in mathematics was weak.
Why? You know how lucky in life you are.
Yes, sir.
And if you can't clear, how do the rest of the world clear the UPSC exam for NDA?
Sir, because
okay,
they were...
count your blessings. How lucky you are in your life. Tell me about all your blessings so far in life.
Sir, I've been I've been blessed that I was born in a home where there was no financial problem. I had both my parents for the very longest. I had two sisters who took care of me in a great deal, and I had a very positive surrounding, a very encouraging surrounding through which I got the opportunity to play different sports. am blessed to have a fully functional, physically able body, and other opportunities like going to a good school, having good primary education in English medium. And in my school also, I had various opportunities, be it related to sports or stage related to opportunities. I had the opportunity and the blessing of coming across people from different fields of life, being friends with them, knowing their experiences, knowing what, learning from them. These are some of the blessings that I can count on my tips, sir.
So you had all the blessings in the world a youngster at all stages of your childhood till now could have got, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you will be almost in the 0.01% of the Asian youth who has got all these blessings.
Yes, sir.
So where do you think you are lacking because of which you couldn't make it to NDA?
Sir, it was actually the only reason is that I had the effort that I had put was not up to the marks as to the effort that is required.
Why didn't you put in that required?
So the effort at that time, I was more involved in sports, and I thought that whatever I was doing would be sufficient.
Okay. Anyway, now that you're so hell-bent on joining the army, tell me all that you know about the armed forces.
So the current structure of the Indian Army, it was based on the British model. Right now, there are 6 commands of the Indian Army, and these commands are located geographically at different areas, starting with the Northern Command, which is based in Udhampur, then coming down to the Central Command in Lucknow, then to the the Western Command in Chandimandir, the Southern Command in Pune, the Southwestern Command in Jaipur, and the Eastern Command based in Kolkata. Then these commands are broken down into a further structure of corps. Every corps has around 3 to 4 divisions in it, and every division has 3 to 4 brigades in it. A brigade will have 3 to 4 regiments in it, and it can be all infantry brigade, or it can be a rapid brigade having some infantry regiments and one or maybe more either mechanized infantry regiments or an armored regiment. And sir, the main or the primary role of the Indian Army or the Armed Forces of India is to safeguard the country from any external threat. And secondary roles have also been given to the army time and again during either during a natural calamity or when all the other organs of all the government fail. Then it is the army or the armed forces by and large which are called to provide succor. And an example of that was when during before the Commonwealth Games, a bridge had collapsed in Delhi, and it was the Corps of Engineers who came and repaired that bridge well within time. Apart from this, sir, Indian Army has been post-independence has been used extensively in fighting internal threats as well, be it in the Northeast or in J&K. And Indian Army has also given a great contribution when it comes to United Nations peacekeeping forces. And apart from that, our army has also sent its medical corps team during the Korean War, and that was also a UN mission. And it has another example is that it has provided us with great sports person, starting from the late Milkha Singh and the most recent being Neeraj Chopra.
Okay.
And sir, other than
That's
this,
all.
sir, no, sir. Other than this, sir, army, apart from these primary roles, army has also opened various education institutes for children, and not only for the children of its own personnel, but for most of the institute are open for children of all spheres, be it army public schools or the colleges which are affiliated or built by the army. And in conflict areas like J&K, it has started Operation Sadbhavna, where they motivate and educate the youth educate youth who are living in tough areas to have a better life or to integrate more than with the rest of the nation.
Okay, good. You got fairly good knowledge about the army. Right. Now we will talk about your education and training, starting from, say, from standard 10th onwards till you graduated. Tell me, where all have you studied? What all subjects did you pursue? Which subjects you liked the most? Which are the subjects you did not like much? Tell me about your friends. How many friends you had? How many close friends you had? What are the traits you saw in a friend to make him your close friend? Tell me about your teachers, the teachers whom you loved the most, and the teachers whom you did not care about much. Your achievements, what you think, and during your school, college days, and later in the college years, what the subjects that you selected, and why did you select those subjects?
Sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So from 10th to 12th, I was in Jaipur and I studied in Sanskar School, Jaipur. And in 10th standard, mine was the first batch when the new CGPA system had come in and the old board system in class 10th was removed. So I scored a CGPA of 7.2%, which is equivalent to, if you round about, then it is 70%, or to be precise, it was actually 69.5%. Now, after class 10th, I had opted to take up science non-medical, that is physics, chemistry, and maths as my stream in for class 11th and 12th. And the primary reason for it was because at that time I knew that I had to sit for NDA, and if it did not work out, then I later in life I will give CDS. So I knew that somewhere maths and physics and chemistry are going to be used for competitive exams. So after coming in class 11th, my percentage, sir, I don't remember it exactly, but it was around the same bracket of 65 to 70. And in class 12th, I scored 63.5%. And after which I appeared for the NDA exam, and I appeared for the common law admission test, which is called CLAT, and the AIL Mohali entrance test exam. It is a separate exam by the college. And in CLAT, my ranking was 1453, through which I was in the reservation list, the waiting list of some of the national law universities. And in the Army Law Institute entrance exam, my ranking was All India rank 15. So as when I went to counseling to Army Institute of Law, there was something which I saw and it motivated me to join that college. And sir, since school, since ninth standard only, I participated in various sports and games from in my school, and one the most attractive to me was basketball, because I had a coach, a very great coach, with whom within 6 months of being a greenhorn, I was able to make it to the school team, and at the end of 10 months, I was able to be a part of the state under 17 team. And other than that, I participated in different stage activities, starting from thought reading or debating in school, and then gradually coming up to the level of participating in an MUN or a turncoat competition in my college. And sir, subjects I in my 11th and 12th, the subject that I liked the most was actually physical education, because it had a lot of it was all about sports and making those diagrams, and I thought it was a good subject to pull up my percentage. And there was no subject that I not liked or had a problem with. It was just that physical education was something that I had more interest in. And after coming into college, for the first 3 years, all our subjects were compulsory subjects. And it is in my second year when I studied constitutional law, and I till now I find the subject the most interesting law subject that I have read. And after third year, sir, every semester we have to choose one optional subject. So in my fourth year, I opted for insurance law, because at that time there was a change in insurance policies, and insurance law was a lot in news because the law was amended. And then the second subject that I opted for was the Juvenile Justice Act in the second semester of my fourth year. At the starting of my fifth year, sir, I opted for POSCO, prevention of the act which basically talks about prevention of child abuse and crimes against children, because it was very much similar to juvenile justice. It was correlated. And in the final semester, sir, I opted for interpretation of statutes. It is a subject where you are taught how to read and interpret the law correctly, as to what and or how much difference do these words make when they are used in a legislation. And sir, although my academics were not my strength, but being a person who used to take part in any school or college activity, I had a fairly good interaction with my teachers and teachers who were not teaching me directly. And so the teachers which impressed me the most in school was a ma'am called Miss Shobha Day, and my basketball coach, Mr. Vinod Sharma. Both of them were a great motivator and a very practical teachers, in the sense that Shobha ma'am, she was till 10th standard, she was our geography teacher. And after teaching the theory, she used to get maps or take us to computer lab and show some videos on YouTube. Back then, it was not very normal for a teacher to, or a very ordinary for a teacher to do this. So this was very different. And my coach, he was a great motivator, and he would find different ways, new drills. He would find anything. If he wanted someone to learn a skill, then he will make sure that it happens. And he, at times, he was strict, but it was all with good intentions. And sir, in college, I had a teacher called Miss Kamaljeet Kaur. She was my constitutional law teacher. She again, sir, like Miss Shobha Day, she was also a very practical teacher. When she taught us about constitutional law in India, she would give us examples as to how the law is read, how it is interpreted, and what, through these 75 years of independence, how things have changed in the law, and how the court updates itself with the current times and the problems it faces. So she gave us a very detailed insight as to how practically the law is applied, and how it helps building up a nation. And sir, my friend circle in school and in college both were of a mixed group of people, from the ones with strong academics, mostly through the ones who were in sports and stage competitions. My friends from school are Sir Dipanshu Swami, Bhuvan Chaudhary, Parega Bharadwaj, Ananya Sharma, and Rudra Pratap Singh Shekhawat, Shakti Pratap Singh Rathod. These were my close friends from school. And when coming to college, I had a very similar group of academicians and sportsmen in college, namely Paramveer Chahal, Sankalp Chhajed, Ritul Singh, Aditya Saxena, and Miss Payas Mudgil. And a very common or a binding factor which stood out was that, sir, all my friends from college, all the close friends from college, sir, all of us had the drive to join the army. And it is me and Aditya who are now still preparing. The rest four of them are either in the academy or they are commissioned. So that was a binding factor then, and also with some of my school friends. But another common trait would be that we were very open and readily accepting each other, be it either to help each other, or to be it in studies or sports, or if just you need somebody to listen to you or talk to anyone. So that was one common trait that all of us had, and that is what made our group or our friendship to a level of becoming close friends. So
Okay, good. I'll just take a second. Okay. Right, Shivanjay, let's talk about your family background now. Tell me which all stations you stayed with your dad. How was your relations with your dad, your mother, your sisters? What all you did together as family? What all areas you tried to help out the family? I wouldn't say help out, or take active part in the family organization functions or whatever it is. Tell me what all you do on a holiday at home, or when you were in school, college. What did you do during the working days, in the mornings and evenings at home, to help out the regular chores at home? And what all fights did you have with your sisters, and how was they resolved?
yes, sir. Sir, when I was born, my father was posted in the MCME Secunderabad as an instructor, and from there we moved to Dingjan, Assam. After staying for 3 years in Dingjan, Assam, we went to Ranchi. From Ranchi, we went to Jalandhar, and after staying for 2 years in Jalandhar, we went to Agra. After Agra, by the time we left Agra, I was in 8th standard, and in I had completed half of my 8th standard, and from there we went to Jaipur, and then I stayed with my mother in Jaipur, and my father, when I had completed my 10th class, he got posted to Jaisalmer, and after that he got his final posting in Jalandhar. But I did not go to Jaisalmer and Jalandhar with him, because at that time while he was in Jaisalmer, I was doing my 11th and 12th, and after that I had gone to college. And my relationship with my parents, sir, has been as strong that as any child would have with his parents. And it was not just a normal or a very formal parent children relation. They were very encouraging and motivating when it came to take part, or they actually started with this as a child. They once sent me to a army adventure camp, and they encouraged me to. I used to, for the first 2 days, I used to call them at a fixed time in the evening. I used to tell them this happened, and they told me that for the next 5 days, don't call, just be on your own, make friends, go out. And so they have been a bedrock of support in my life throughout. And similarly with my sisters, sir, although they being elders, they used to take care of me also, but they were strict with me. And even now, so although we don't fight like as we did when we were children, but even now they are strict with me. But when we need help, or we need, since my one of my sisters is also a lawyer, so at times I do ask her some questions, some court procedural things which she has a better knowledge of. And at times when she needs to ask something, because the work I do is intellectual property rights related, so if she needs some help, so we do that. uh, and one of the most common things as a family that we did right from the get-go was that we used to play one or the other racket sport amongst ourselves in a very competitive manner. Mostly it was badminton, since my mother was a badminton player during her college days, and or it could be tennis, or now it is table tennis. And apart from that, sir, we have a dog, and all of us are very concerned. That dog is the fourth child which my mother considers that she has, and all of us together either take him for a walk or spend a lot of quality time with him. And other than if not that, then there's a carom board game every night after dinner, and that ritual is still followed. So these are some of the activities that we did as a family. And I go back to talking about my father, sir. He did his BTech, and then he joined the army through TGC entry, and he was commissioned in the year 1985 in the Corps of then Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. Later, it was renamed as Electronics and Mechanical Engineering. And uh, he retired in the year 2016. My mother did her BA and B.Ed, and she has a 20-year experience of working as a teacher. And on the side, she did various courses to learn designing of different styles, and a lot of art and craft workshops. And now with her sister, she has started a boutique. I have two elder sisters, sir. The eldest is 6 years elder to me. Her name is Harshita, and she did her BBA from ICJ College Jaipur, and then went on to do MBA from Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Pune. After which she for the first 2 years she worked at Hindustan Times in Delhi. Later she joined Zomato, through which she got an offer, and currently she works at Zomato's Dubai branch. And my elder sister, who's 2 years elder to me, she did her law from Gandhinagar National Law University. After which she worked at a firm for 2 years. And when COVID started, she shifted to Gurgaon to stay with us. And now she's working for the Delhi State Legal Service Authority. And sir,
I'm more interested in your routine on working days when you're going to the colleges and on holidays.
Sir, While I was in college, sir, I used to stay in the hostel only. So my morning would start at around 7, since on a floor there were only two bathing areas, and our college used to start at 9:30. So I would get up, go for a bath, and then head off for breakfast. And till 4 o'clock, till 4 o'clock, we used to have our classes. And after 4 till 4, there was a 1 hour cushioning period to go and change, sleep. And from 5, our sports activities used to start. 5 to 7 was basketball. Then 7:30 to 9 would be football. Then there would be a time for dinner, or dinner 15 minutes, roll call 15 minutes, and then by 9:30 again, either it was meeting your friends in the cafeteria or playing some sport. So college like went like that for the first 3 years. In my third year onwards, I started preparing for CDS. So for around 1.5 hours, 2 hours every day. After that, post roll call time, I gave it by sitting in the library and preparing for CDS. And that went on till my fifth year. After which, when I started working, sir, initially, when I started working, also there was work from home. So my working hours at that time was were very flexible. They were not defined, because we have a dashboard system where a day's work is listed, that this is the minimum work that you have to do. And as and when, if some impromptu work comes, then that is different. So I used to start at 10:30, and I used to finish by minimum 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And after that, I used to go for either running or cycling, and end my day with by reading a book. But eventually, when the restrictions were removed, and I started going physically to the office, so it changed my routine. And then what happened was that I joined an academy called Rider Academy. And I still, even before the new restrictions, I used to go there at around 6:30, play basketball for an hour in the morning, be back home by 8 o'clock maximum, have a bath, have my breakfast, and at 9 o'clock, I would go to the nearest metro station, that is the Outer City Center station. And I have to take a 40-minute metro to reach my office. Then before 10, I would reach, and I would start with my work. And
Okay, I got it. But you jumped to college and working days. I want to know what you did in Jaipur, 10 to 12, on a day when your school was there, and on a holiday. What all did you do right from the morning you got up till the time you go to sleep?
sir, in Jaipur also, my routine was that at 6:30 in the morning, I had to 6:30 in the morning, we had our practice sessions in school, basketball practice. So I used to take my cycle, and by 5:45 maximum, I would leave. My school was 8 kilometers away. So I used to cycle down to school. I used to carry my school uniform in a bag and my books. And then from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, we had our practice. 8:30, the school used to start. So I used to go to a friend's place who used to stay nearby the school, right across the school actually. And there I would have a bath, change, and come back to school. Then from 8:30, after the prayer, the morning prayer, by 9 o'clock, our classes used to start, and they used to go about till 2 o'clock. At 2, I used to board the bus, the army bus, which would drop the kids who were staying in the camp. And at 2:30, I would be back home. From 3 to 4:30, I would go for a tuition, and that was for science, physics and chemistry both. On alternate days, and it was 6 days a week. After that, I used to go for a maths class that was from 4:30 to 6. And then after from there, I would go back to my school in the evening. I would reach by 6:30 and go for the evening practice session or normal practice games. And then I'll be back home by 8:15. And then after coming home, I would just have a bath, talk to my sisters, then maybe play with them or play with my dog, interact with my parents, read a book, write a journal, and sleep. That is on a school day. And and
Yeah, on holidays.
on holidays, sir, back then, on holidays, I would for the first 2 3 years, I used to any holiday that I got, I used to go with my sister and my mother to visit some or the other place, either in Jaipur or near Jaipur, as there are various forts in that area. So mostly it went around going to different places. But in 12th standard, I curtailed that and I shifted that time to prepare for NDA.
What I find during school days also, and even later college and working days, there is no contribution from your side to the family chores as such. Your mother looking after everything, she has done a lot of extra courses, this, that. Have you done any courses similar to enhance your skills or to learn more?
Sir, I have done a certificate right in my third year only. I did a certificate course for on drafting Supreme Court matters that is related to law. Other than that, sir, I have done a coaching certificate. I have done a coaches course, which is that I can to a basic or a beginner, I can teach basketball. I can teach basketball to them. And then, sir, for the last 1 year, I have taught at an NGO which prepares underprivileged kids to get Gurgaon as a system of separate academic classes for the underprivileged kids, which are run in private schools. So I taught those kids to crack that entrance exam. And actually, sir, I forgot about answering the chores question. If you may allow, then I can go on about it now.
Yeah, good.
Sir. So, sir, although since I've started working, my hours spent actively at home have reduced, but the course that I've been doing since a long time are that my when it comes to my own room or when it comes to anything related to our dog or anything which has to be either any electronic device that has to be repaired or anything which has to be brought from outside, these are the areas which I take as my responsibility and I cater to them. Apart from these, sir, if there is any new repair to be made and post demise of my father and the writing downs of the financial spending as to how much money is going where and the paperwork that had to be done to change the title deeds in name of my mother or the pension papers to be the pension to be brought into her name or as family pension. So these are the things that I did. And apart from that, sir, I have a when I go for my sports in the morning, I know as to that I have to get one packet of brown bread, 4 packets of milk, and 6 eggs. So similarly, there are small things which are stored in my memory that has become my muscle memory. So these are the things that I contribute with.
Okay. I have learned a lot about your sports and spare time interests and things like that. Tell me about your reading habits. What all books do you read? Why do you read books? And what type of books do you read? And which is the last book which you read?
So the type of books that I read, most of them are related to military, be it the Indian Army or foreign military, not specific to operations. Some of them have been about the experiences of the person who is writing. The second most common genre that I read is autobiographies by sports persons or coaches, and the third would be comics. And sir, I how I started reading was that when I was in Jalandhar, I was in third standard, and there was a library adjoining my block, the block where in which my house was located. There was a library adjoining that, and the library had a big playground. So I used to go to play there. But I one day I landed up in the library, and I started reading. I started reading. The Tintin series, and eventually I enjoyed it, and then that is how I got into the habit of reading books. And the last book that I read is called Dial 9 for Assistance. It is by Colonel Avdesh Kumar.
Tell me about it.
Sir, the book is Colonel Avdesh Kumar is a retired army officer from the Indian Army, and he was the commanding officer of 9 Para SF. This book is this book casts a very small detail about what SF is, how it started, what was the whole story or the very basics of the operations that it had taken part in Sri Lanka, before that in the 71 war, then the contributions in Kargil, and then after Uri, and everyday counterinsurgency operations and life in SF. The book talks about, but it is very specific to only 9 para.
Okay. What all do you read nowadays, leaving aside your legal issues, like magazines, newspapers?
Sir, I read the Hindustan Times in the morning, and I have subscribed a monthly magazine called Force. Force also is a magazine which only and only talks about defense related news of that month, and it has an international section also. And when talking about defense related, it not only talks about what the army of a country or our country is doing, it also shares reports of new weapons or new technologies built by some foreign company or some private Indian company which is up in the market for buyers.
Okay. What are you have been reading newspaper daily. What are your views on the recent security breach of the Prime Minister in Punjab?
Sir, I think the matter has to be first thoroughly investigated, and there has to be reasons. Reasons have to be pinpointed as to how it happened, because if first we have to find how it happened, then only we can ascertain why it happened. And in a very myopic sense, my view is that it is obviously uh, not at all expected that such a breach would happen with the prime minister of our country, and after such a turmoil that the farm protest was. So in such a state where things, the last 1 year has been rough, so it is a very concerning matter. But a thorough investigation is the only way, rather than coming up with rumor mongering. The thorough investigation is the only way that we can fix this
See,
issue.
I'm not asking for your political views
Yes, sir.
or views in general, which anybody without reading the newspaper can give.
Yes, sir.
I want you to let me know what are the impressions formed by what could have possibly happened, and what should be done so as to avoid such a thing, not only for Prime Minister, any senior officer, any senior official of the Government of India or even state government. We can't afford to lose them once they have gone to that position. It's okay, or to make a international news, some political things will happen, a lot of things will be there, a lot of crap will be coming into newspaper. What are your views? What do you think?
Sir, in my view, a better coordination has to be found between central agencies and the local state police. That is the first thing. Secondly, the entire responsibility of managing a convoy or alternate routes should be given to the central agencies only, and the decision making ability in that sense of state agencies should be lessened, and the planning has to be started. If it is a pre-planned visit, then it at least 6 months from a visit, and local intelligences has to be given more voice or more power, so as to ascertain if there is any threat or possibility of a threat. And what could have happened, sir? The worst situation is that there could have been an attack on our prime minister, or maybe an attempt of such kind, and even that would be very discouraging. So that is what I believe, sir.
But he has been going all over the country for almost last 7 years now as Prime Minister. And he is
Yes, sir.
the highest security he's been given, and nothing of this sort has happened. He has been to Punjab also earlier, and many sensitive states he has been. So what you are saying should happen. I'm sure intelligence is that is happening. But what, in your view, you think has gone amiss this time? If it has not happened in 7 years, what could have possibly happened now? And what are the remedial measures exactly? Like, we have been fighting wars for ages, but Kargil happened. And then
Yes, sir.
Subramanian Commission, it gave out certain this thing. So I want you, since you are in the legal side, the state is responsible for policing matters.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And center for different matters. So what could have happened in this case? What you are saying, intelligence, this, that, coordination, planning, 6 months, everything must have gone through as before, isn't it?
Yes,
So
sir.
where you think, you see, you have to read in between the lines of the Hindustan Times also and come to your own conclusion and your own views on it. And now that you are a grown-up man and one of the brightest and the most read person seated in the capital of our country, you should have a proper view and should be able to express it also.
Yes, sir. So should I?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe that if when we talk about this whole issue, one thing that was very out there in the public also, that there was a very callous uh, attitude by the police, as there is clear-cut evidence of them stopping and having tea and standing by a road and chit-chatting. So the fact that earlier there was no attempt or attack, or not that it was told in the public, there may be some, but nothing happened in public eyes. So there has been a callous attitude that nothing will happen, or nothing can happen. So I think that is the primary reason, that if we should not lower our guard, and this situation is a clear cut example of that, what lowering our guard is or what it can result in. And as a remedy, so the most basic thing is that investigating, finding out the culprits, and not just punishing them. You have to understand as to how can a person of such holding such magnitude of responsibility can do this, what are the reasons, how can this lapse be. So a thorough investigation is the primary step that has to be taken. Only then the later outcomes can be decided upon.
Okay, good. Now, like the Prime Minister's threat, you will also have some threats in life, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Especially being in the law field, you'll be fighting certain cases, you'll win some, you'll lose some. And both ways you can, in both the cases, you can make enemies. If you win a case, the chap who has lost, he will be after you. If you lose a case, the chap who loses again, he'll be after you. No?
Yes, sir.
So after one such case your firm was fighting, though you are a very minor clog in that, but the opposite party which lost was very strong. So they said to teach a lesson to your firm, they catch hold of you one day and they threaten you and physically threaten you. What will you do?
Sir, once I'll just politely tell them that I was just doing my job. As a lawyer, it is my job to represent my client. Had they come to me before to the client, the advocate they went, they would have been on the winning side. If it doesn't satisfy them and it does not
It does not satisfy. He gives you a very shock. He says, "Bakwas karta hai sab kuch."
Then I will ask him that how do you want to go about it? If you want to fight, then I'll
He
fight.
says, "I'll give you 2 more shock." He gives you 2 more on your face.
Then sir, I'll hit back.
Yeah.
I'll hit him back.
You will hit him there, but there are 2, 3 of them. They will not come alone, will they?
Yes, sir.
Huh.
Sir, then I'll first go for the tallest or the loudest person amongst them, whom they believe or I understand is the main guy there. I would land
before you go to the main chair, the other 2 they just catch you and the main chair just hammers you and you start bleeding.
Yes, sir.
Now I want to know what would be your reaction.
Sir, once they are done with me, once they are done and or they stop, I'll look for a way to at least get out of that 2-person hold, hit that biggest guy at least once before they leave, and then again if they give me a thrashing, I'll take it.
Okay. You mean to say with your physique,
yes, sir,
a sportsman doing physical work all throughout, even 2, 3 chaps can pin you down?
No, sir.
That's the civilian gundas?
No, sir. You told me that they are holding me. So if I was imagining that.
Okay, understood. Good. I like it. Anyway, now that you are working in civil, let's go to the civil aspect of it. Maybe your alternate career is in law, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So your law firm, as I said, you already won some good case, and now they want to celebrate. They want you to organize a party in a far off farmhouse of some gentleman who is abroad, who is not there. So house is all empty. And you are about 30, 40 of you all. Okay. Tell me what all planning will you do? The party will be a dinner party. What all planning will you do? What all assistance you will ask from your firm? And how exactly will you go about that party?
So, so the first thing is that first I'll see that the place which we have finalized, does it have the capacity to fit 40 people? Are there enough, or what a new or some extra furniture is required? Then I'll get that. Secondly is I'll contact a caterer and decide upon as to how much for how much the food is going to be, the cost per plate and the menu. And that menu, before finalizing, it will be circulated among all the members of the firm, so that there is at least a few things that everyone eats, and then not nobody is comes up with a comes to the leaves the party with a sad face that they it's not the food of their choice. And the third thing that I would do is, sir, I would after finalizing the caterer, the venue, and the extra material that is to be needed, I will put the audit and show it to the accounts team of the firm, so that money for the same can be drawn. And after finalizing of the venue, I will contact a cab driver, SUV cab driver, a couple of them, so that there can be smooth transportation for those who don't have their own vehicle, or if talk to people who are living in closer areas to come together, carpool in a way, and so that all of us are also aware as to how and when everyone is going back and are is getting dropped.
Okay. And how exactly will the party be? What all will happen in that party?
Sir, in that party, firstly, I would request my boss to come and tell everyone as to why we are celebrating, speak a few words of encouragement or at least introduction, so that he gets the ball rolling. After which, the I would like that there would be a open stage or a chance for anyone to showcase their talent. It can be singing,
You are the
dancing.
organizer. What are you expressing your wishes? Whom will you
Sir,
express your wishes to?
sir, for this I would, even being the organizer for a party in my firm, I would have to take my boss's permission that, sir, can we do this or can we not? So I would
Okay.
ask him.
Okay. Now that you are done with the party, tell me, how will you, and we have known your everything, SSBs you have been for 4 times, you couldn't clear the ND exam. How do you assess it? Where do you think you have gone wrong after being so lucky in life? Why is it that you have not been able to make it to the armed forces, which is your goal? And what all measures have you taken to improve on those points?
Sir, the one reason, the primary reason was that the efforts that I had put initially were very less. And at that time, at that point of time, I thought it was okay. I was easygoing as a person. But then those failures made me realize that no. And to turn that page, I started working on myself. And by that I meant that I firstly, in my communication skills, I believe that in the first two SSBs, I felt that whatever I was saying and whatever the other person was understanding, there is a gap in that. So that is the first thing that I worked upon. The second thing, sir, was that for my first SSB, I had a lot of preconceived notions. I was very task specific as to what is to be done in this task or what is to be done on that task. But now, after my first experience, sir, I dropped it and I only focused on myself and how I react to situations, and not only to tasks. The third was, sir, of increasing my knowledge. If I could, I would go back and work harder in my academics. but no, I can't. So the only thing that I can do is now that I can improve my current level of, be it legal knowledge or GK in general. So I worked upon that, and primarily these are the three things, sir. And then I took regular feedbacks from every SSB that I came back. I talked to a few members of the SSB group which I was in, and I asked them to tell me their perspective of my GTO performance, since it was the only task that all of us did together. And whatever was the common thing that was coming out, I thought of it. And if I also have felt the same way, or I had an inclination that this is I also at some point I felt it, so I worked on it. So this is how I have prepared for myself, sir.
Okay, Shivanjay, it's been nice talking to you.
So
Is there anything you would like to ask me?
no, sir.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have finished.
I think before we start, I think let's have Shivanji himself bring out what he feels about it. I think he's the right man to say.
Sir, I feel that my logical, I would say logical expression is not very good. If
No, you
like,
didn't get it. How do you rate this interview? What about the I'm talking about Colonel Kadam has conducted the interview now. How would you like to rate yourself?
sir, out of 10,
First 10, first let's talk about what are the good points you have brought up, what are the not so good points you have brought up. Let's analyze yourself.
sir. Sir, I think my performance would be 6 on a scale of 10.
Okay. So 6 is that is one, that is about scaling. What do you think are the strong points, strengths that you have shown?
Sir, the strong points, I believe that I did not get phased or worried by any question as such.
So not worried. I can say that is what you say. As per you, you are not worried what happened, what transpired in the interview, isn't it? You're not worried.
Yes, sir.
So that is one part of it. Okay. Now, should I ask you that question on that? Should it be not being worried, being interviewed? Is it the quality which is in check? If yes, what do you think SSP is doing?
No, sir. Actually, what I meant was that I was not nervous. Worry is the wrong word. I was not
Okay,
nervous.
don't worry. So that's it comes to the same thing. You were not nervous, and we are happy about it. So being not nervous is it the only quality which is being checked up?
Sir, but in my understanding, not being nervous means that I was confident.
You are confident. Okay, very nice. So confident, very good. How do you define confidence?
Sir, it is my definition of it would be that it is it is a belief that I have in what I am doing, and
Okay.
while I am
So-
doing it, I believe it is right.
No, so that is the confidence, belief in yourself, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
What do you think are your strengths that you gave you the confidence?
Sorry, sir.
What were the strengths that gave you the confidence?
Sir,
Let's analyze yourself because let's come back. What do you think SSB is?
sir, it is a personality test, but
Okay, very nice. Now I ask you a very simple question: what personality itself is?
sir, it is a mixture of various traits.
Mixture of traits. Now, what are those traits?
Sir, traits would be like being helpful is a trait, and such everyday things which makes a person.
Now you have been in interview for at least SSB four times. I think that's the fifth time. Now, what do you think is the difference between personality and character?
Personality and character. Sir,
Yeah.
Sir, personality, I believe character is the ingrained qualities of a person's personality. Personality can have various types, and it may change from like my formal interaction and my informal interaction will be different. But the character of the person that I am
Okay,
will stay the same.
notwithstanding the same, we'll talk about let's write later on what personality is. Now, we'll just say now, So why do you think you should be selected as based on this performance of the present interview? Tell me 5 qualities that has emerged from this interview. You've talked almost 1 hour.
Yes, sir. Sir, first quality, I would say that I was truthful about everything that I was asked. The
So,
second,
so truthful is the first quality which you feel it's necessary that you have been selected, isn't it?
yes, sir.
Okay. What is the next one?
Sir, second is that I've been, I am passionate.
Passionate to join services. Okay. Wishful,
Yes,
you
sir.
want to join. So the passionate, is it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Truthful, passionate. Yes.
Sir, third thing which came out from this interview is that I accept my failures and I work on them, or I at least try to improve them.
My question very simple. Why do you think the services should select you as an officer? After all, it should pass you. Why should Colonel Kadam pass you as an interviewing officer?
Sir, because I have, being a sports person, I have played team sports a lot. I have been part of teams as a leader and as a team member. So I believe that even in the army
Then
is a,
he would better go for some national and international player. Why should he go for Sivanjay?
sir, because I don't know about any national or international player, but I would use these skills
Okay.
and my wish to join the army. They integrate together. So that is the benefit that I
Sivanjay,
can
I
get.
think only one thing I'll tell you, and I will come back to you later on. I think now I just wanted to have your interview.
Yes, sir.
I do expect you to, now we have got another few more minutes time before we conclude around there. I would like you to analyze yourself. What was the interview? How was the interview? What all good things you have done? What all not so good things you have done? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nikhil, anything you want to add?
No, as of now, no. I have certain feedback that I will provide him later. Sir.
No. Just get back onto the system around there. Whatever feedback you what you feel about the interview.
In my sense, he has a decent communication skill. He is an active person, a sports person, physically fit. Although he has not utilized, I mean, by not clearing any examination, he is not so good in studies. But right now, he is improving his, himself about his knowledge and all. Then he is a responsible son and he is a good friend, family-oriented person. He has confidence in himself, sir. That is what I want to add. Sir.
Okay, now before Colonel Kadam adds up on that, let's start from your PIQ form itself. In the PIQ form, there's a column which is available here, is a general category, OBC, and other categories there, isn't it? Is there performer there? You're supposed to be, is Yadavs from Haryana are supposed to be OBC or general category?
Sir, my domicile is of Delhi. The Yadavs from Haryana are OBC, but my domicile is from Delhi, so I don't fall under that category.
You don't fall under it. So that's one question only. Secondly, now you come back on the PIQ itself. First and foremost, he forms his impression from the PIQ. From the PIQ, and PIQ, the performance from 69% in class 10th to 63% class 12th and plus 62% in graduation. Don't speak very well. And he goes against you. So that indicates now your performance will have to be super smart, super good to get over these drawbacks. Before he starts up, he looks at a PIQ form. And secondly, after that, we go back to the second page, you talked about reading habits, another aspect of it. It has not yet been substantiated by the response that we gave it. Very first question, you seem to be totally verbose. First, he started with the what army so long, so many things which are totally, it's somewhat relevant, somewhat not relevant. He could have talked about some of the equipment other aspect, which you have not talked about. He simply talked about command and went on to command core and other aspect, and then went aside. You have to be specific. You have to be to the point and answer only to the point. and you can't keep on talking just like that. Yes, it is said that 15% is supposed to be the interviewing officer, and let us say 85% you are supposed to be talking, but you can't keep on talking endlessly for that. And you say until it is the content which is motive, not what you speak. You chose to speak like famous lawyer Moore story. If you know, since you're a lawyer, have you heard about the story of lawyer Moore?
No, sir.
That he was supposed to be the defending person in the UK, in the court around there, and his client had no hands and no hands at all, and his client was charge sheeted for something extraordinary. He went for lunch, came back after lunch. He simply says, "My lord, we had 10 courses of lunch and all. Everything was beautiful, good, so nice. Everything. Only one problem was there, and that was he was eating like an animal." And that was the turning point. What you see is the content. You have to tell your story. And the story, what you are doing, it is only past, talking about your past. You couldn't afford to talk. It has to be coherent. Your answer should flow from one after the other. And you have the causal coherence, cause and effect. Why and this? You're not in a position to justify anywhere. Now, starting from the beginning itself. He talked about when he talked about use positive surrounding and sports facility. This is what you talked about. It very nice. Father being an officer, you had the right environment, but you never utilized it. Performance never talks about it, that you utilize those environment which are available. Efforts put in. You just remain stuck with the sports and other activity itself. And you couldn't afford the very first CIQ question that you talked about the person, you went haywire from the beginning to end to beginning again. You kept on talking about it. And you talked about 10 friends, 20 friends. You can't afford to have 20 close friends. You talked about friends, you got it, very close friends. And why are they? Only because they want to join services, they can't be. That can not be only reason for your keeping friends, or to have reasons for it, which you can't afford to answer. Not asked. You asked certain questions. The sports was not asked in the first CIQ question. You came back, you talked about the sports, which is irrelevant, and so it means you didn't pay attention at all. You took, since being the 4 times you have been in SSV, these questions was asked, you thought it was the question that I just tried to answer. So pay attention to what is being talked to you now. Okay. Thought, you talked about the word thought reading, and a very, very interesting subject by itself. I don't want to, Kadam didn't talk about it. He would have taught you around there what is thought reading. Very difficult job, but this is what you talk about. Then you talk about all these people know. You talked about the teachers you like the most. You talked about a sports coach. When it's a coach and teacher is a difference, isn't it? Coach and a teacher is a difference.
Yes, sir.
So you should have talked about it. Then you also Soba Day, who was a geography teacher, class 10th only, and then only because she used to teach you and show you some computers. So that's a subject which is aside. Reasons can be so many other things. As you rightly put, you could have simply talked about it. He to make things very interesting. A subject like geography, that's the end of it. Not logical. You just want, you have to give reasons, and that's why you are giving reason. And again, so also when I say you talked about, when you talk to family involvement, nowhere we could name, at least I couldn't make out anywhere that you have got a close, good relationship with your parents, people in and around. Nowhere. You talked about dogs much more than about your parents. You talked about the dogs and other people on there. Never talked about how well were you interacting with your mother, father, sisters, except for playing probably badminton and TT. And that's all. This is what you talked about. We spending time. And the quality time that you used to spend with your trainer, what is your contribution? Getting only bread was the only contribution, fair enough. So that doesn't give you any. No, then it says, you talked about dog board. So I think when 2 years that you spent at Jaipur, you went around totally morning 6 o'clock, evening, if you used to come back, no contribution at all towards the family. So no, It is supposed to test the personality. And interviewing also is supposed to start if he's got reasoning ability. Very first thing I think Kanna will tell you. Your reasoning ability is totally unreasonable. It comes of grasp. You couldn't understand the problem question that you asked. And even the inquiring attitude. Why? How? Attention was missing. Logic. You're illogical. Logical. Whereas as I know, advocate, we do expect that you would be much more logical and stronger. Okay. Then you talk about muscle memory. Very nice. Here's another muscle memory. Talk to where's the need of muscle memory? Did you talk about muscle memory or not? What was your contribution towards a dog and electric appliances that you used to contribute towards home? Okay. Then you talked about Tintin, talking about where is the need of bringing comic and who does that? Who still remains? That's the word is regression. Regression, if you know, still remain in your mental age still remains backward as compared to your chronological age. So you're talking about comic, you're talking about Tintin. Where is the need? Where did he ask this question? One simple answer: this is sufficient for you to be not to be elected, not to be passive. No, you seem to be wistful, dreamer, verbose. You are skirting the questions, being indirect. You thought by speaking, using the language probably you can afford to do that. Fair enough. Then dreamer, not authenticate. At least I didn't feel authentic. None of the output, none of the questions were authentic, which you say it shows the authenticity. So that's how goal got it. So the very first question in our study, if you want to pass, simple is there your factor one, that effective intelligence, the use of intelligence to find a solution to day-to-day problem will have to be shown. Number two is reasoning ability. Until unless interviewing officer is clear you have got reasoning ability, he's not going to start. You never talked about the second, the human aspect, the social adaptability, cooperation, and sense of responsibility. You never talked about it, took up any major responsibility. Low performance in academic itself a direct indicator of irresponsible child. No harm, we all do mistakes, but what is he has really asked, what is the corrective measures have you taken? You couldn't afford to justify that. So that's how it really comes back to you have simple. When it's a learning from your past 4 SSV, again you are illogical. You have not yet been in a position to analyze what was your reason for failure. You have not been able to do that. Sometimes you talk with GTO pass, you got the feedback, and then you put in more effort. With easy going, you are saying you are easy going. What else he has got? They say Kabulnama in your system. Anything on conscious, they will say I am easy going. That's the end of it. He can't tell you that you are not easy going. Okay. Task oriented. Nowhere you are task oriented. Even if a routine that you showed in your college time, sorry, it doesn't just justify your total time frame. Last 2 years, you took no preparation for CDS. What was the output? What is the result? So overall, even the analysis of the PM question that he asked is very simple. It's a job. It's unacceptable to any Indian as a citizen. Prime Minister is a Prime Minister. He got stuck. He shouldn't have been stuck. Who's responsible? You can't read your debate using your side is cutting the problem. Your answer should be direct. Which you want. You're just trying to avoid it off. So overall, when you look at it, I use the word, you're verbose. You're illogical. You didn't convey the points that you are supposed to bring it across. You are, as I said, coherence part of it is not existing. We talk about where you thought that you are a group man. You're a sports person, fair enough. So you have not given any inkling anywhere, as per me, where I know I'm ready to, willing to accept you. As I said, your performance in academics was so behind that you ought to do well in an interview. And this is at conscious level. And if you can't do well at conscious level, then that's the end of it. And what is personality? Franz said, the way we feel, think, act, and behave, that's the personality. How do I gauge the behavior pattern is seen from the output? Output in terms of academics, output in terms of sports, output in terms of other activities that he is asked for. And if that is not evident, then there's a problem. And now I leave it to Colonel Kadam to conclude it.
Okay. Right. Shivanjay, Colonel Prasad has analyzed the complete interview for you very well. I have only a few broad things to tell you. First of all, and most important you have to keep in your mind is SSB's 100% psychological test only. Okay. Your PIQ, you are presenting a personality to the interviewing officer and to the psychologist. So they form an impression, like I formed an impression, that you are a very blessed child in our, not only in our country, but Southeast Asia or Asian countries or backward countries or developing countries, everything. You are a very, in that group of nations, you are one of the very blessed child. Okay, very well educated family, very well to do, every opportunity, every facility which a topmost chap can get in this underdeveloped and developed countries, you have got those facilities to develop yourself. Now, every question that is asked to you is of relevance. It has got relevance. And with your education, with your background, everything, you must, in a fraction of a second, you must know what is the. If we are meeting in a train, co-travelers, and if somebody asks you, "Kahan se aa raha hai?" you must tell the station from where you are coming. Not I belong to Timbuktu and go around all over the bush and the person again asks, "Arey yaar, abhi kahan se aa raha hai?" Understood? So
Yes,
you tend to be verbose, and in SSB we are trying to read you as a book as a child. Will you be fit enough to lead the troops after training? But if you beat around the bush, that is letting us read only introduction of the book and not the book itself, then my friend, I'm sorry, no SSB can ever recommend you. Okay? Introduction, you have spoken everything, but you have not spoken what is there inside you. So you must understand the question. You must answer it straightforward. Yes. Thereafter, you can add on if you think that is going to add to your personality. With you so much lucky, blessed, there are certain drawbacks also with that. If your type of a candidate comes from a rural background, I would give him double the marks what I would have given you. So that is a drawback you carry. Why? Because you have got all the opportunities, all the facilities, everything in this life that a child can ask for or dream for. Whereas the child from a rural background may not have got all the opportunities in life. So he gets, for developing his personality to this level of yours, he gets double the marks. Okay? So that is one of the drawbacks you have to be aware of. And as Colonel Prasad, you have to be team player in everything. Every question you have to reflect, project yourself as a team player, whether family, routine, you're talking about anything. You have emerged out as a self-centered, everybody has to help. I am not helping anybody. Even your sister, you expect to solve your problem, but you have not helped them anywhere throughout, other than making use of them to play only or things like that. Okay?
yes, sir.
Have you understood? So you have to project yourself as a team player. And we in the defense forces, we want team players also. So question you have to understand firstly, I asked you, why do you want to join the armed forces? Purposely, because you applied for Air Force also, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
But you answered only about army, because I don't know why I couldn't make out why you talked only about the army. Either you have not heard me correctly, or there is something more to it. So you must listen to the question correctly. And I am very happy. Some questions, some part of the question, if you forgot, you ask later. That's very nice. Because most of the candidates, they just chala gaya question, to chala gaya, he couldn't care less. But you said, can I answer? That's very nice. Even your courage situation which I gave, when a youth like you, if in your age, any youth should say, do teen aadmi to kaise mere ko pakdega? How will he pin me down? How will the three of them? I am also young, but so what? Three of them. Okay. So that your later reaction was very nice. But you could have taken help. I did not specify where you were, but somewhere. It has to be somewhere in a crowded area, or may not be so crowded, but I'm sure you could have asked for help, shouted for help. But these days, nobody comes for help. Even the bystander, nobody will, they'll only look at you, they'll not help you. But you can always say, and there is one thing you must keep in mind, there is nothing wrong in hitting 2, 3 this thing and then running for help. It is not an act of cowardice that you are running. But you should be able to face that chap. You as a youngster, you must behave your age. Like you told me, ND, you did not make it because you were slightly casual that time and you thought you will go. But let me tell you, most of the officers in Indian Army or armed forces, they are sportsmen. But at the same time, at your age, they could be little casual at that time. But once they realize, most of them make it in CDS. And those who are still casual about it, then they are left out. That's a different issue. But as Colonel Prasad has said, you must give out your close friends. Just because you're joining the same service, you can't be close friends from 9th onwards. Okay? So that you have to. Next is that organization. You must be clear in your mind about organizing. Whatever, you will get a situation of courage, of organizing. In organizing, he will ask you a specific question, what planning? So planning, you say, I'll plan for this, location, capacity, alternate arrangements, what are there, the staff there, the caterer there, the transportation, everything you must have this, and I'll ask for the budget from my boss, that. How will you conduct it actually? That's the most important part in the end, which you just answered only after my and that also very casual way.
Superficially.
Yeah, very briefly. That it doesn't help. It doesn't. It's So every time it was burdening my head. Look at this privileged chap. Look at this chap, such a privileged person. What is he doing? What is he doing? And I was awake almost throughout the interview. There are some interview officers, after 5 minutes, moment he realizes he is no good, he'll ask you, "Arey yaar, kaun sa picture dekha kal Bangalore mein? Wo picture ki story sunao mere ko." That means he wants to sleep now. Sleep matlab he wants to doesn't want to tax his brain anymore. So you must keep him interested by answering the question. Let him ask more questions if he wants. Let him this thing. You first answer the question, then you want to project something more, you tell more. You have projected without me asking anything about games, you have projected me as a games, and the PIQ tells me. So I am not interested in your games. I am interested in what have you learned from it. Are you a team player? What have you learned from these games? Okay? Have you understood? If you say I am reading news, really, you must. What is the aim of this? To know what has happened today, what happened in the last so many years, what is likely to happen. You must form, and as a youth of your age and education, you should form a, no, this is what has probably gone wrong. This is what they should do. And you could have given a background. Nothing as such a thing has happened except once, I think in Patna, some rally, some bombs were outside the rally, far off. That was a different, that anybody can do, untrained person. But this to stop, go so close, everything, it's to me, it looked like planned, because to stand at the Prime Minister on a flyover, that means somebody has thought over it. It's not anywhere that he has been stranded, he's been stranded on a flyover. So whatever it is, you must project yourself, your age, your education, your background. If not, well, I'm telling you, you are a privileged lot, very lucky in life. You have to project yourself much better than the chap from a small town or village. Right?
Yes, sir.
May I just add in, sir? Just add in.
I think I've finished, that's all.
Right, sir. Just one added. Life is nothing but storytelling. What you are telling into me, not saying about your past. And storytelling is a phenomenon, right? Start from the punch till now, we are only doing storytelling. And this you are doing, interview you are doing at conscious level. And conscious, if you cannot afford to tell your story in a very interesting way, would you ever try and listen to the story? And you say, he's disengaged. Until he gets engaged into it, until you tell your story, then your imagine, is ramping up your own imagination into the story, so that he or she becomes interested in it. And the storytelling itself are redemptive and redemptive is the story from negative to positive. On the contrary, you are taken from positive to negative. You got all the facility available. You couldn't afford to wind up that tell that story in that fashion that is required. So what is required? You must rewrite your story of your past. That is rewrite your story. What I always teach. I tell your small story must be rewritten and learn the lesson from there and go ahead. You have not even learned from your 4 SSV that you have faced. Unfortunately, the feedback that you have got from the people around that you did well, you did that well, or you didn't so well. You talk about it. I know task-oriented, knowledge, academic, and GK. None of these ever go into the SSV. SSV is a personality check. Even if you don't know GK, I'll find out. That's one of the inquiries that come into play. The fundamental is the personality itself. And you could afford to imagine that you couldn't even define a personality after having faced, after being a lawyer by himself. And you can't talk about that as a personality, and that's a story. It speaks for itself. Okay. Any question from this side? Any question?
No, sir. I'm still processing the feedback that I've got and
Are
thinking
you
of the
happy with are you happy with the performance? What you have got as a feedback? Yes or no?
Sir, I'm happy with the feedback. I know the bitter truth. I'm not happy with my performance. I know that I can do
That's
much
okay.
better.
That's okay. That is getting always
Just one second. Just 1 second, sir. Don't feel dejected. I find you have got dejected.
No,
Don't
sir.
be dejected. You will do well. Only thing you have to improve on these points. You have to understand everything. You have to show logic everywhere, and whatever knowledge you have. Don't like the Prime Minister first answer was as if anybody who has not read the newspaper can only say this, generalized. You have to project yourself, and
Yes,
you will do well. I expect you to do well after this feedback what you have got from Colonel Prasad.
Sivanje, let me just tell you, I am for 4 of EME. Let me just tell you today. I know how bad or good I would be feeling, that you must understand my feeling.
Yes, sir.
I joined way back in 1974. I left the service 2006. And I'm one of those. Ask your father, probably know. I'm the only person who has served the base force for almost 12 years. And anyone in the base force, people will remember that. So let me just tell you that
he is MTech gold medalist from IIT Delhi. Not a small
let me just tell you, aim is not to pull you down.
Yes,
Our aim, understand, it is very easy to know. Normally, what they give it, our system is very simple. Both of us, why do we call Colonel Kadam? Because he is forthright. We must tell what is right. There's no point unless telling what is wrong. Aim is to improve. Aim is to add a value to yourself. Once you have spent time with us, if you don't get a value feedback, what is right, what is not so right, what is the use of having the interview? Is
Correct,
the
sir.
interview? And this normally we say, we do not talk about it. What before we talk about interview, what interview is? You must have had, no, probably you must have attended 1 or 2 coaching classes from the SSP. Yes or no?
No, sir.
No. If you're not, probably you'll find for yourself, no one gives you the feedback. Feedback is for your personal improvement because we feel it is nothing personal. You are a very good person. Let me just tell you, you are in a good profession. And lawyer is one of the, being an advocate is the best profession today. It is paying, it helps you to grow. And so there's nothing wrong with it. So my personal attachment being EME also around there cannot be better than that. You could ask Mukteswar Prasad is my name, probably he'll tell you, someone will find out from somewhere.
Yes, sir.
So that is the end of it. So if you ever feel back anything, we are always available. Okay.
Thank you so
Nothing
much.
wrong on that. Aim is wish you all the best.
Yes, sir.
And it is nothing against you, nothing. It aim was to be
Yes, sir.
pointed. If we don't become pointed, then it is, then we are not doing our justice. We are
Yes, sir.
doing our job. Yeah, Nikhil, you had some question. Yeah, Nikhil.
Sir, I want to ask, I mean, in terms of his strength and weaknesses, we got to know so much about his weaknesses.
No.
I mean, what us, I
Strength-
mean,
yes,
sir or
strength-
Ravi Kiran sir.
Strength is only one. He's a good sports person, and being a sports person is all particular areas related to that. Remember, when you talk about what a sports person, he can be a good team man, but he has not given the inkling of a good team. He plays basketball, he plays football, and as a team, he can play around there. But what we as services will require is what is the factor one, that is effectiveness, reachability, organizability. And until these three are straight, no person can ever afford to be an officer. You can be good person like Lalu Prasad Yadav, you can be a leader, absolutely fine. You can be leader, you're a good sportsman, you've got initiative, you would like to play. Now self-confidence, you talked about it. Where's the talk guys? Unfortunately, psychology has still not devoted on finding the faults, not on the strength. Let me just tell you today. Today, a phenomena branch of psychology is going called what they call positive psychology. That has got the latest program which is already taking place. Till now, aim was to find the complexes, find the problems. Our aim in SSP is not to find your strength. I'm finding whether 15 quality which you are saying does it match with me or not. I'm not here to find your strength and weakness. I'm here to find out what are the weaknesses. Are you matching there or not? If you got it, you come in. If you don't have it, sorry. And out of those 6.5 qualities, social adaptability, cooperation, sense of spirit, you couldn't bring it out at all. When you had the strength of it, you're a good sports person. You could have talked about good friends, which you have not talked about it. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Liveliness. You now get the liveliness you are not talked about. They are all the strength you had that. Determination. As a sports, you put determination. You play lage hue hain. Yes, 10 times laga hua, but that is not it. Organizing ability gets missed out. So when you talk to strength is communication. He can, but he's too verbose. He's not to the point. Power expression is not what you speak here and how long you speak. You speak to the point and what you expected. That is power expression. We are not here, that is not here to find out how good you are. That is a clinical psychology comes in a separate discipline by itself. We are not here to find out what is his strength and weakness. Strength comes separate. He has to prove himself that he has got a strength. Does he match with my template or not? If he passes my template, I got filter. It's a filter. I have got a band pass filter. If these 15 quality are there, pass it. Otherwise, you are blocked. Simple. Here in SSV, I have already talked. We are good at giving marks. Ha ya na, pass ya and fail hai. Go and no go test. Go and no go test. And yes, if he passes, then I'll tell you what is his strength. Why am I passing? Then I have to justify that. Have I answered that question?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to him some of his strength point because he was a bit dismayed by this feedback. So for us, like positive outlook leakage, I have said that will be strong
Right,
in
sir.
his psyche.
Understand,
That is what I
understand,
wanted.
understand. It is the positive feedback is what he gets the right feedback.
Yes, sir.
Is the most feedback that I can tell you today. Tomorrow when Sanjay Simanjay meets me around there, he'll be a much better person than what he's today.
I agree, sir. And I was not dejected. I was just processing as to how should I overcome these problems that I have.
That's understand. The aim is to add a value. When you come to me, I must add a value to you.
Yes, sir.
What is yours? You must have seen so many interviews taken around there. आकर बता दिया कि ये चीज बहुत अच्छी बात है यार ये थोड़ा सा improve करना है. That is yours. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, Sanjay?
No, sir. I just wanted to ask one question, that the qualities that you brought out and you made me understand that ऐसा ऐसा है and ऐसा नहीं है and there's the gap. So what is, in your opinion, how should one work on these qualities? Identifying is one thing.